Ramzan. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the May 7th, 2026 special City Council meeting. The presentation from Mayor Dorinda Boer on her recommended fiscal year 2027 operating budget. Before we get started, could you please all join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Melly Garthwaite.
Melly Garthwaite, Council at Large, present.
Councilman Peter Rivera.
Peter Rivera, Council at Large, present.
Councilman Sean Ronan is absent. Councilwoman Ann Heffernan.
Councilwoman Ann Heffernan, First District, present.
Councilwoman Nancy Tagliatella.
Councilwoman Nancy Tagliatella, Second District, present.
Councilwoman Sarah Akbarali is currently on her way, but for now she's not here. Councilman Gary Donovan.
Councilman Gary Donovan, 4th District, present.
Councilman Edward McMillan.
Councilman Edward McMillan, 5th District, present.
Councilwoman Dawn Callahan.
Councilwoman Dawn Callahan, 6th District, present.
Councilwoman Catherine Tucker.
Councilwoman Catherine Tucker, 7th District, present.
Councilman David Beaton.
Councilman David Beaton, 9th District, present.
Councilman Ronald Quagliani.
Ron Quagliani, 10th District, present.
And Chairman Christopher Vargo.
Chairman Christopher Vargo, 8th District, present.
And we have a quorum, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Stacy. And when you are ready, would you please read the call of tonight's special meeting?
West Haven City Council, notice of special meeting, May 7th, 2026. Notice pursuant to Connecticut General Statutes, Section 1-225D, governing special meetings of municipal legislative bodies, and Rule 4.5 of the West Haven City Council Rules of Procedure, Mayor Dorinda Boer has called a special meeting of the West Haven City Council to be held at 6:30 p.m. on Thursday, May 7th, 2026, in the Harriet North Community Room, 2nd floor, City Hall, 355 Main Street, West Haven. The purpose of this special meeting is as follows. Mayor Dorinda Boer's presentation of the recommended budget and 5-year capital plan for fiscal year July 1, 2026 to June 30th, 2027.
Thank you, Stacy. And now we will receive Mayor Boer's recommended budget and 5-year capital plan for fiscal year ending in June 30, 2027. Madam Mayor, the floor is yours.
Thank you to everybody.
After 20 years, you think I know? That's okay. Okay, so thank you so much for allowing me to present my budget here tonight. Tonight I'm submitting for your review the proposed budget for the upcoming 2020 fiscal year. Excuse me. When I first sat down to write this, I started going down the path of what is typically provided by a mayor in a presentation, outlining all the details of the financial challenges we face, and there are many, such as the $3.9 million that was cut to our pilot funding by the state of Connecticut in February due to last year's revaluation, or the extensive shortfall in the Board of Education due to the rising cost of special education, which is impacting cities across the state, or the rise in prices, or the historic blizzards, and how all of this has created a financial storm for us, both figuratively and literally. Then I was going to talk about all the work our team is performing not only to mitigate these factors, but to overcome them. And then I was going to give you the dramatic punchline, which is how does this all impact our taxes? But instead, we're going to shake it up a bit and do things a little different. And I'm actually going to start off with the bottom line first, because I know that is what is critical to all of you and all of us. Therefore, I'm proud to share with you that for the first time in a very long time, that in addition to balancing the budget, there will be no tax increase for the city of West Haven. Yeah. So right about now, I know you're thinking that's great, that's all I need to know, and move on. And I get that. But I'm asking you to stick with me for about 5 minutes to hear not only what the challenges are we face as a city, but what are we doing to counter and mitigate the financial impacts from all of these challenges. And hearing the facts directly from me not only fosters transparency, but it provides you with the critical information regarding your government. As you recall, and while it feels like a lifetime ago, we were released from MARB's oversight less than a year ago. And while we made significant strides, those financial issues that strangled West Haven for years do not go away overnight, and we still have hurdles. And what are some of those hurdles? Let's start with the state funding, which, as I just mentioned, has been very volatile for the past 6 months. The first pass of the state budget, West Haven was actually cut $3.6 million. That reduction was due to a prior year revaluation. Because we lacked commercial property value increase during our revaluation, for many years, as you recall, a portion of the tax shifted from commercial to residential, and we all felt that impact. Due to that, we lost pilot funds, payment in lieu of taxes, for that commercial property. Our municipal car grant was also cut due to our reducing our mill rate to soften the blow of reval. Last week, we learned that the state will be providing the city with the funding needed to close the education funding gap, and I'm very grateful to our state delegation for the work that they have done. However, it is imperative that we make critical and impactful changes ourselves locally by seeking revenue enhancements and aggressive cost-saving measures to offset significant economic challenges. With respect to the Board of Education, like many municipalities this year, our Board of Education faced unprecedented increases in special education tuition and transportation costs, ending the prior year with a deficit and the need for additional funding this and next year. And while the state funding certainly, as we discussed, will help us close the gap, by sitting with our superintendent and our chairwoman, Kebby Waterfield, and taking ideas from board members and teachers, we were able to all work together. Through many days and nights, we were able to comb through and revise the Board of Education budget in a way that continues to provide the 5,800 students with the quality education they deserve, but in a way that doesn't close schools, cut teachers, paras, nurses, custodians, and everyone who works collectively to keep our schools a safe, healthy, and productive environment for learning. Special thanks to Krista Malloy, who went to Hartford with a team of teachers no less than 10 times, and I was up there for quite a few visits with them. We met with the governor, we met with our delegation met with the governor, we met with each other. There was a lot of meetings, and we all wanted to emphasize speak about the importance of the investing in education, and they heard us. And I want to thank everyone around the state who was involved in that advocacy. Switching gears and reflecting on the impact of back-to-back historic winter storms, we need to continue to mitigate future weather impacts. It not only hiked overtime costs for public works and police, because both departments' work was required to keep us all safe, but we also felt the impact of an escalation of salt prices, extra fuel used, having to pay to cart away snow from our curbs so that our bus stops were safe, and a lot of vehicle breakdowns because of our archaic infrastructure. So we will be investing in new equipment, augmenting our anti-icing program, and using GPS system to assist in monitoring our fuel efficiency. Speaking of fuel efficiency, we smartly locked in our gas and diesel pricing for the next year before the escalation of the gas prices, which is now going to save us $130,000 in next year's budget. We also locked in favorable rates for electricity, and we negotiated 10 cents per kilowatt hour, down from 15 cents per kilowatt hour, which is below the average, state average of 10 cents per kilowatt hour. So we will be saving on electricity as well. Another challenge we faced in this incoming budget is that by federal law, we are required to draw down all of our ARPA grant funding by December 2026 or lose it. Less money in the bank means less interest income. We will lose a minimum of $1 million in interest income next year. So to address that shortfall, we made the necessary decision to cancel many planned capital projects, which were good projects that I wanted to do, but not critical projects, and those cancellations allowed us to redirect those funds to compensate for that interest income shortfall, and also is allowing us to lower our future debt service obligations. We also built revenue enhancements into this budget. We increased, as you know, you were a part of that, Fines and fees for the first time in over 15 years for penalties for not following the laws and ordinances in our city and for keeping it safe and clean. Zoning, illegal dumping, parking, dumpsters, snow, just to name a few. We're going to charge those who don't abide by the rule a fee, and that fee will be a revenue enhancement for us. An initiative we launched last year is coming to fruition. We had hired a company to identify out-of-state license plates belonging to residents who live here but do not pay their fair share. We also brought back the boot for those who haven't paid taxes in years. Those taxes cumulatively have already come in at $800,000 and will continue in the 2027 budget. We also got better control of our fixed assets, which took us over a year to do. You can imagine the asset inventory in a city of our size, but through the process, we were able to start organizing and selling off non-performing assets such as old automobiles and equipment at public auctions, bringing in more revenue. The landlord registration we talked about last year has finally come through, and out-of-town landlords are now paying a fee and registering their information so we can locate them in the event of an emergency or for blight purposes. We also formed a partnership with the University of New Haven to make investments through capital funding in the surrounding neighborhoods around the university. We also began conducting personal property audits recently on businesses, which will verify what a company has on hand for inventory compared to what they're reporting they have on hand for inventory and what they're paying for taxes. Those audits have started this month, and we will see the fruits of that labor in the 2027 fiscal year budget. Lastly, on revenue, we're finally seeing the projects we have been talking about get off the ground and starting to see the building fees from some of those building projects that you see going on. Those are the revenues. On the expense side, some of the measures we've taken. I first want to take a moment to acknowledge our police department. We've been investing in public safety resources and have more plans for 2027 fiscal year, but we are doing it in a way that is in partnership with our police officers and our chief, and they provide the valuable work in assisting the city in making fiscally wise investments into the tools and the resources. We also just settled their union contract, which provides a very fair compensation for the incredible work that they do and the difficult job that they face for us, but through creative approaches and long-term incentives that will be less impactful for the fiscal year 2027. Speaking of public safety, we know that all 3 fire districts were also cut in state funding due to the revaluation, and Allentown is no exception. With a fair contract for the firefighters and the need to invest in the firehouse exhaust system so that everyone is safe and healthy, Allentown also had a relatively slight increase, less than at 0.35 mill rate, a 0.4 mill rate, sorry. And I want to thank the commissioners, as Allentown is part of the city, but the commissioners govern and work hard throughout the year to ensure the firefighters are supportive, but also that they are being fiscally responsible in managing the budget. Lastly, we conducted a comprehensive review of city staffing and made some targeted reductions through position eliminations and consolidations to ensure a more efficient government structure. I want to note that 90% of these changes are through attrition, meaning retirements that have recently occurred. We have chosen not to fill those positions. And we've also moved personnel around to different departments. The impact from the personnel reductions that we are making for fiscal year 2027 is going to realize a $400,000 savings to the bottom line. And I want to point out very, very clear for anybody who's listening and anybody who's looking at our budget that you will see increases in this budget for personnel. And I want to remind you that these contractual raises that are 2 years in arrears and a retro increase that is built in. So when you see somebody has an $8,000 increase or whatever it may be, the person is not getting an $8,000 increase for fiscal year 27. It was a contract that was settled in arrears that is due to them. Not only do I believe we're mitigating challenges that are coming our way, but we've put together a fiscally balanced, responsible budget, but at the same time doesn't stop the progress. We will continue our unprecedented investments in our city with respect to roads, sewers, parks, beaches, public safety, education, resources, and basic quality of life initiatives and enhancements. It's been a long budget process, months of crunching and meeting, and before I close, I want to take a moment to thank Ricky Spryer, David Taylor, and Anthony Reyes, who have worked nights and weekends alongside of me to get this done. And and we didn't kill each other. There's still time. There's still time. But we all know, and all of our department heads that work hard every day know that we still have a lot of work to do to serve our great city. I want to thank the City Council who have been in supportive of our initiatives and work at making those initiatives even stronger, which allows me to do the work I need to do. It has been a great partnership, and I appreciate the valuable input that you provide. And lastly, but most importantly, I want to thank the residents for your ideas. As I learned when I was a state representative that some of the best ideas come from our constituents, so I listen the best I can, and I explore many opportunities you send my way. I don't have all the answers. I don't pretend to have all the answers. So please keep your ideas coming, and we will evaluate them as we receive them. And also, thank you for your patience and your commitment to West Haven's progress. I appreciate all of you. Thank you.
Mayor, thank you very much for that wonderful Christmas gift that you gave us of no tax increase. I just want to say on behalf of the City Council, I know how hard that you have been working day in and day out with your staff. And I want to thank Mr. Taylor, Mr. Spryer, everybody involved to present us a budget that is balanced and that is has $0 increase. You're going to make our lives a lot easier over the next couple of weeks. So thank you very much for all the hard work. Hopefully it all works out. And we'll see how it goes. Thank you. All right, moving on to, I will be setting a public hearing on the mayor's recommended fiscal year 27 budget and 5-year capital plan for May 18th, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. here in the Harriet North Community Room. And an official notice and an agenda will go out probably early next week, but just so everybody's aware and so the public's aware, our budget workshops are going to start right after the public hearing on May 19th, which is a Tuesday. All these days are starting at 6 p.m. in the City Council chambers. So we will, on the 19th, have the city clerk, the tax assessor, the tax collector, the registrar of voters, corporation counsel, and the finance department. Wednesday the 20th, we will be meeting with personnel, human resources, which includes elderly services, youth and family, and the health department, and public works, which includes building and maintenance, highway, park maintenance, and fleet maintenance. On Thursday the 21st, we will be meeting with engineering, water pollution control authority, and information technology. On Wednesday, May 27th, we will meet with Allentown Fire, Emergency Operations Center, and the Police, Animal Control, and Dispatch. And on Thursday, May 28th, we will meet with the Building Department, Planning and Zoning, Parks and Recreation, and the West Haven Library. On June 1st, we will begin our deliberations, and we have to pass the budget by 11:59 p.m. on Thursday, June 4th. My hope is that June 1st and 2nd, we can complete our deliberations, or at the very early stages of June 3rd, and then we could make our motions so that way Mr. Taylor has the next day to be able to put everything together and he's not running around trying to make sure that any changes that we may have doesn't adversely impact what the bottom line is that we're all trying to maintain. And with that, that is it. I will see you all on Monday for our regular meeting. Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second? All in favor? Good night.